Hey everybody, you're listening to Raw with Marty Gallagher, JP Brice, and Jim Steele on ICTV. Today we're going to be talking about cardio devices. And one thing that prompted this was we're going to talk about a whole bunch of different cardio devices and if what our opinions are of them. But what kind of prompted this was I just got a fan bike, and I've sold these things for years. I sell them to military, I sell them to CrossFit and commercial gyms and all that. But I just got one, and it's kicking my butt. And Marty's got a lot of good information on that. But let's start with let's just kind of talk generally about cardio machines. I mean, Marty, you're not a huge fan of cardio machines, regular cardio machines. Why is that?
Given a choice, man, I'd rather run wild in the woods naked, right, Jim?
Naked, yes.
Right.
You can do it down at the.
At least power walk naked, right?
You can do it down at the Goose Ranch with the shotgun.
Oh, yeah, nobody would even bat an eye.
Exactly. That's how we prefer it, running wild. But if you have to use a device, you need to get results from that device, and I think ultimately that comes down to breaking hard sweat. Would you not agree, Jim?
Yeah, I mean that's what for my bodybuilding shows. That's what Rich Selke, mutual friend of ours, has always told. Just sweat, Jimmy. Just sweat.
I love Jim.
Going fast enough to where you could have a conversation if you had to, but it's not the most pleasant thing in the world.
But I mean, you are sweating by the bucket, right?
There's puddles underneath the bike. Yeah.
Okay, see, that's everything. People, hear us. If you're not sweating, you're really not doing it. And I think it really is that simple, Jimmy.
Yeah, I mean, you see people in the gym and they're just barely moving, and they'll go home and I just did the elliptical for an hour. Now, did you really do the elliptical? You know what I mean?
I see people moving really fast, and they're highly conditioned to moving fast. And guess what? They can text while they're moving fast.
Jim, when you're preparing for a show, you're dieting down for bodybuilding, trying to get that skin paper thin, and you're doing your cardio. Is that a consistent rate of cardio that you're doing, or are you spiking it, doing more of like a HIIT thing and a shorter time? Or
it's just a consistent rate, usually around the same speed every day, usually around the same resistance. So here's the deal with that. So you're in a calorie depleted state. Your workouts are what's most important, along with your diet. So you don't want to do cardio where it's making inroads into your recovery, where I have 20 sets of legs to do the next day, and I just done intervals where I'm, basically doing a leg workout. So my whole thing is, and I know there is, sketchy research about fasted cardio and all that first thing in the morning, but that's what I like doing before I eat. I take coffee, whatever supplement.
Jimmy, how could fasted cardio not be good?
Well, if you think about it, right, you're going to burn what glycogen you have left over, and then it's going to your fat,
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, come on, man. And it's that simple. And why not have some good caffeine with the stimulating acids from that, and just do a sweaty ass cardio session? What better way to start your day?
Well, to me, it always prolonged my first meal, because after I did the cardio, I didn't feel like eating.
No.
Gave me another hour before I felt like eating again. So,
how long are your sessions? How long are your sessions in the morning?
If I was training for a show, it'd be an hour, no question. This morning I did 45 minutes. When I'm not training for something, it would be 30 to 45 minutes. It's never less than 30. I definitely have an OCD thing about that. It can't be less than 30. If it's 29 minutes, you didn't work out. You didn't do.
Do you use music?
Yeah, in my headphones I listen to thrash, and I'm also on the computer watching. I have everything going at once to keep me interested. What's funny? It's a great thing is I always for each show,
to keep you distracted.
Yeah, it's just like
to keep you distracted, to keep you distracted.
That's the biggest problem I have with cardio. Yeah,
the horror
of sitting there.
Yeah.
For an hour.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's great. So you've got the phone going. You're like answering emails and listening to
I have one of those.
whoever who's still alive. Pantera.
I usually find like one band to listen to for like 12 weeks when I'm actually getting ready for a show. So
yes.
Last time I did a show was Hatebreed because it's good hardcore. and I think this time, next one I'll do will probably be Nails, which is another hardcore band out of
really.
Yeah.
I would have never.
These are all Marty's favorites.
Oh, you'd be surprised, buddy. I've got a pretty damn broad musical vocabulary, pal.
I know. We've done articles on it.
Oh yeah, I'm welcomed in many circles.
So Marty, what's the biggest reason that you're not a big fan of most cardio machines?
Jimmy hit it right in the head, man. It's boring. It's one-dimensional. You want to be distracted. I mean, that's why they build TVs into, electronic, where you sit on the bike and you look at a TV or you text or you want to be distracted.
Yeah. We used to sell this thing.
Besides the fat-burning effect of first thing in the morning, you're done a half hour before you even know it. You know what I mean? In the afternoon, you got all.
Oh my God.
We used to sell this thing called a game bike, and what it is it's an interactive cardio device where you're on a bike, and this video game is playing, and as you're going down these trails and roads and stuff, when you turn, it turns.
Fantastic.
So the way this thing worked was you were so distracted playing this video game, you didn't know you were doing cardio.
Exactly. That's fantastic. I love that. Let's virtual reality cardio.
Yeah.
Let's go to the Swiss Alps, and we're going to ride bikes up the damn Swiss Alps, and we got 20 speeds. Let's go.
Now, the other reason you don't necessarily like a lot of the cardio machines is because it tends to be two-limb, right?
Well, on the one hand, but on the other hand, so many people have got so many incredible results from single limb. Jim, I think you could speak largely to that. But I mean, here's the thing. We have arms and legs. I'd probably say 80% of cardio devices are leg only.
Yeah, maybe 90.
Yeah, maybe 90, right? Maybe 90. And ultimately, leg and arm is just, that's just common sense better.
Yeah, you're going to burn more calories.
Well, I mean, also you've got a whole body experience going instead of a leg only. How much more efficient from a scientific standpoint is it if you're allowed to generate cardio effort using 4 limbs as opposed to 2?
Yep.
So, given that, yes,
which takes us into a gentleman by the name of Dr. Len Schwartz.
Yep.
He was a big fan of 4-limb cardio. In fact, he was the inventor of a product back in the 80s, and I know we had some at my house. It was called Heavy Hands, which was.
Did you?
Yeah, we did. I remember them well. Yeah, I used to use them as brass knuckles on my siblings.
Yeah, that's what they all ended up as. Yeah, I love Len. Len was a genius. He was my aerobic mentor. He was a medical doctor, and after he was a medical doctor, he was a psychiatrist. And he was so successful as a psychiatrist that he lived in this beautiful home across the street from Art Rooney, the owner of the Pittsburgh Steelers, right? In this historic Pittsburgh neighborhood. And you'd go into his house, and in his grand foyer, there would be this incredible Steinway piano, just worth, I don't know how much back then. It was probably, $200,000 back then.
How'd you hook up with him?
Muscle and Fitness magazine. I was the boss, writer for Muscle and Fitness, and that I kind of had free reign as to whoever I thought was interesting. And I said, oh, there's this guy. And Len was interesting in that he had big science behind the whole heavy hand idea. The problem with heavy hands, it was a little too girly. Like real men could not get behind kind of the dancy Jane Fonda kind of, thing with heavy hands.
He had his shorts like up his ass and stuff.
Yeah. It was just, it was not, who had it together on that was Billy Blanks.
Oh, yeah. The Tybo guy.
With the Tybo, because he put martial punching and kicking and shit into aerobic, and that was genius. All of a sudden, guys didn't feel weird about, doing a group cardio class.
Yeah. Well, I will say this. If you're not on a calorie-restricted diet, no question, forelimb cardio, kickboxing, Muay Thai especially would be on mitts, would be best. That's interval training at its most extreme.
Exactly, and that's what we want. We want to stress ourselves.
But now you mentioned,
if there's no cardio stress, there's no adaptive response.
Well,
there's no gain.
As you mentioned, Len had some great scientific research behind the forelimb cardio, and in fact, you were saying in one of our articles? By the way, we've got a great article on the site. It's called what is it? Forged Passion. Dr. Len Schwartz, inventor of heavy hands. Now, he would actually.
I'd like to reread that. I should have reread it before we.
Yeah, it's a great article, but in there you talk about he used to conduct this forelimb cardio testing on himself and actually do the blood work. And
he
had proven results. Yeah.
Well, his whole thing got started because he came across research where the highest VO2 maxes ever recorded were from cross-country skiers, right? And what was unique about them? Well, they used their arms and legs to propel themselves, right? So from there, he was like, well, what if you were to invent an exercise form where the arms and the legs were equal? What he found is that it spread the cardio effort. You could do more work, but it would feel like less because you were now not depending on the legs alone to generate 100% of the effort. You could bring the arms in, and the arms can move faster than the legs if necessary. You can do double time and shit like that if you're really determined. Particularly if you put a load in the hands. And that's what the push-pull bikes did. They replicated in a lot of ways. Len's idea was, well, we need to weight the hands. And that was smart. Let's put some sort of weights in the hands because then we're creating resistance, and now we have resistance in all four limbs, right?
Yeah, a great idea, and for those who use this thing properly, the heavy hands, it produced great results. But it was interesting in what you said in the article, the demise of the device was due to people not following the protocols that he had. Yeah, and people just started carrying these things. They were walking and just carrying these things, and they weren't getting those results that he
you have to either the idea is that you weight the hands, and once you weight the hands, you have two choices. You can either grind and purposely use, well, actually you have three choices. You can use a grind movement where you're purposely slowing the concentric, or you can use a normal pace for the concentric, or you can use an explosive rep. You have a ability to choose between how quickly you want to move the hands and the legs. Again, you have to keep them weighted in the same relation that you're weighting the hands. Together, you spread the cardiovascular effects, so you're doing more work, but it feels like less. Right. But what's the mode? How do you make it a little more masculine? I found that the easiest transference was not heavy hands. It was on the Schwinn Aerodyne bike.
Yeah, well, that's the one we sent you, and you did a great article actually on Dragon Door with Chris Hardy on that.
That was like Aerodyne bike 2.0. That was the assault bike, right?
Right. Yeah.
That was like the difference between I don't know, a Sherman tank and a Panzer King Cobra tank. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just,
well,
the assault bike is like, I mean, that thing is like, it's like a industrial, incredible.
Yeah, that's a workout unto itself.
It's a locomotive.
Now the Schwinn, the Airdyne, they called it the Schwinn Airdyne ergometric exerciser. That actually came out in 1979, sold for $395.
Yep.
And I was looking
That's when I got mine.
I was looking.
I did. I'm telling you, I did.
Did you?
If he wasn't born then.
Well, I was born, but I was like 8 years old.
1979?
Marty, you were like 50 by then?
Come on, man.
But it's so they sold it for $395, which they sell for, $800 to $1,000 now. But I noticed that the overall design, everything's basically the same, but what Assault did and these other guys did was really came along, made it more heavy duty, made it like CrossFit proof, beefed it up, 350-pound capacity for the commercial models. So these, I'll tell you, the one I got is by Spirit Fitness. It's called the AB 900, and that thing's got a 350-pound capacity. I'm 290. Okay, I'm a weightlifter type like you guys are, and I get on this thing and it feels like you're riding on top of a tank. 290. Yeah. So it's solid, and I tell you, it kicks your ass. I started with this thing a week ago. I just got it, right? So after 6 minutes, like I was ready to keel over, and I go, man, I'm so out of shape. This thing gasses you out so quickly.
That's right.
So yeah, so let's talk more about the fan bike, because I mean we're both big fans of that. Jim, have you ever ridden a fan bike?
No, I've never done that before. I don't feel like having that go up my testicles like that,
Oh.
Well, yeah. The thing is, the air or the seat?
The air, like going up your shorts, up in your testicles.
No, the air is nice.
That's a little weird.
I'm kidding.
No, you open the windows in your workout room, and the air is circulating through the room. It's so nice.
Well, I just don't think you know how big my testicles are. That's the problem.
The seat is what you got to worry about. I mean, 290 pushing down on that seat. That's
just tough.
That's no picnic.
All right, now, Jim.
I've never used it. What? Yes, sir.
I need you to do me a favor. Would you please riff on the type of cardio that you're doing for about, I'd say about 2 minutes, because I have to attend to something.
Oh, no problem.
Yeah. So, now listen. But what everyone is looking for, what is your degree of effort? In other words, in the off season, you're working. Let's say that 30-minute minimum. How do you handle that? I mean,
I think.
Okay. Go.
I think a lot of it is just from experience. Like, I know how hard I need to go in order to still burn fat, but not, make inroads into what I want to do that day. That's super important, and that's lifting weights. So, I don't want that to affect my weight workouts. I would say, effort-wise, it's probably around 70%, something like that. And the resistance, it's definitely not easy, but it's not like where I feel burning in my legs. So I'm definitely not, in the lactic acid zone where it's like, oh my God, push one more revolution. Especially when you're so 9 months out of the year, I'm not depleted at all. I do the cardio 9 months out of the year just for heart health. I think it's good for your heart to get that blood really pushing through there, first thing in the morning, where it's not like an extreme effort. Also, now a lot of this stuff is just my thoughts, but and then when you get into a calorie depleted state, it's 5:30 in the morning. I don't want to do something where I'm in the lactic acid zone, where I'm burning and burning and burning. I just want to get rid of some fat. I just want to wake myself up, which a lot to do with it is just that first thing in the morning, waking yourself up, starting off easy, and then everything you do later on gets a little harder. And I have done intervals for 30 minutes where you go 30-second easy, 30-second hard, and I got about the same amount of gains as far as fat loss. So
yeah. That's what I'm going to be looking at. I've been reading some 10-minute cardio studies, some HIIT studies.
Yeah. There's nobody that I know who's done it and lost the amount of fat that they lose. Do I think that's good for your heart? Yes, of course. I think that's good for your heart. I think there's some evidence, and it's probably more anecdotal than anything else, that a little bit longer at like a medium intensity would actually be better for you. But what you want to do is do both. You want to do both. You want some intervals. You want to do some long, medium, maybe some long, slow. But then you got to remember your number one thing is your weight workout. So don't do anything that makes inroads. Now, if you say to yourself, on Mondays and Thursdays when I'm not training, and then the next day won't be a heavy leg or low back day, that's when I'm going to do my intervals. The rest of the time I'm going to do 30 to 60 minutes of, medium intensity, getting a great sweat going, burning some fat. You could do that too. There's so many ways.
We're talking about 7 days a week.
Yeah, I don't think you need a day off from cardio, man. Just get your ass on the bike and
there you go, snowflakes.
And right. And do you really have your heart rate dialed in? You really looking at that?
I know when at about 14 minutes, I start to really, really sweat, and at 30, the puddles begin, and an hour.
What percentage of heart rate max does it take to get you to break sweat? 80%, 85%, 90%?
I would say intensity-wise, probably around 70%.
Wow, you're breaking sweat at 70?
Yeah, but my 70.
That's a good sign.
Like what we think about 70, maybe a little higher than other people's 70.
No, I'd lower. That's lower than other people's.
Yeah. So
I'm having a hard time breaking sweat at 120. 120 beats per minute, which would convert to 80. For me, 80%.
But you're talking about heart rate. I said I didn't measure heart rate. I'm just talking about my intensity level, estimated intensity level.
Okay. Again, give it to me.
I don't do the heart rate.
Oh, so you're not looking at the heart rate at all?
Marty's like. Excuse me. That's like it's kind of like lifting weights without knowing the poundage.
Exactly.
You know what? Sometimes you put that weight on, you don't know what it is.
Well, but you're doing it every single time.
Yeah. I know. It's just like anything else that you do, Marty. You know how to have a good opening in your articles. You know what a good opening sounds like because you've done it a million times.
Well, you know what. You either sweat or you don't.
Yeah, I know where I need to be intensity-wise and resistance.
And every time you're sweating.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, man.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's the... You know what? You're in a distinct minority, buddy.
Oh, no question. But aren't we all in a distinct minority? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, no. Okay, but getting back to why we love the quad bike.
Yeah.
So... when you're in rural Pennsylvania and you're stuck here between, let's say, December and March.
Yeah.
You're stuck inside, and it's too icy out. You cannot get out and do any kind of outside cardio. So if you're stuck inside, it's like, okay, what are you going to do? Well, I've got the ancient Schwinn fan bike. So a couple of years back, I created a protocol where I said, now how many distinct things can I do with this device? And I came up, I think it was with 21 or 22 separate and distinct protocols. And you'd start off with like, all right, and the report card is on the Schwinn Aerodyne bike, they had something called a wattage meter. I don't know what it meant. But let's say you were pedaling with legs only forward as hard as you can, and you pedal, and you get to 2.8. All right, that's your PR in legs only forward. Okay, now I'm going to do legs and arms seated forward fast as I can. You go. What can you hit? Oh, I got 3.7. You jot it down. Now you've got a PR in that. What's next? Oh, okay, now we're going to do legs only standing, because you can. Legs and arms standing. Okay? You can do arms only, because I would set the seat height so that if I wanted to, I could put both feet on the ground and still work the handles, right? With my feet not on the pedals. Or I could put my feet in the pegs and only do arms. So, for everything that I could figure out forwards, I could do one arm at a time. I could do one leg at a time.
Right.
Excuse me, wait. I can also do everything backwards. So I've just increased everything by 50%. I came up with like 22 different possibilities of ways that you can establish like a report card. So Jim, for example, here was a good superset. So I'm going to try to set a personal record, arms and legs seated forward. That's a power position. And I'm doing like a bench press thing, 2 dumbbells, boom, 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 boom. You know what I mean? As fast and as hard as I can, and maybe I hit a 3.8. Immediately, what do? Well, now I'm going to do a row, same thing, but backwards. Right? And now I'm going backwards as hard as I can. Yes, and everything. I'm still seated, and it's just like the most natural thing, because you've got whatever push thing. Yeah. You can naturally follow up with an identical pull thing. Oh, another thing I was doing is under grip, forward, bench press kind of thing, like an Anthony Clark reverse bench. Oh, and following it up with the 70-degree door-in row.
Yeah, there you go. Reverse grip row.
Yeah. But as hard as you can, setting a wattage record each time. I'd come off that thing after 22 minutes. I was sweating again, the puddles. I could barely walk up the stairs, but my fatigue was spread.
And I think
it was everywhere. It wasn't just in my legs and my thighs. It was all over, and I liked that.
I think what we really like about this bike is, like you're saying, we identify it to weightlifting. We're establishing all these PRs in these different types of ways of riding this thing, and once you've established that foundation, your PRs, you climb the mountain from there, just like increasing the weight on a bench press. So I think we identify with that.
I think it's more interesting to go with sort of the sprint orthodoxy. I think that ties in more with the lifting than like, okay, let's get in a steady state groove where we're using arms and legs and we're going forward, and we're going to hold that for 30 minutes. Now, when that happens, I need a TV, or I need some music, or I need something to distract me. Let me tell you, when I'm doing these 22 movements,
Marty, you're doing that as a workout. You're doing it as a workout. That is something that you mentally get ready for. With stuff that I'm doing, I'm not mentally. I'm just like, pop some pills, get on the freaking bike. You know what I mean? I don't.
Yeah.
That's something that you would up for. I'd be like, okay, I got to do this today.
You could be in the shower. You could be brushing your teeth.
Yeah, and I'm just going to sweat, and I know how my legs need to move.
But I love the fact that you can sort of absent-mindedly break sweat. I cannot do that. Can you do that, JP? Do you have a low sweat threshold?
Yeah, I actually do.
Do you? Because you're a big guy, right?
Yeah, I'm always hot like Brad Gillingham.
Yeah, you're too heavy. That tells you you're too heavy. I was hot. When I was 312, I was on fire.
Do you have a picture of you at 312? I got to see that. What are you, 5'8"?
He's very tall.
I got.
You could hold that weight well.
He's 6'5".
I was bent over rowing 585. I got a film of it at 312.
I know, man. You were a monster. I got to see what that looks like.
Yeah, but you know what? I was stronger when I got smarter.
Right.
Yeah. When was that, last year?
Stronger at 268 than I was at 312 when I did my 820, 505, 740.
Yeah, but you know what? When you pushed up to 312, you swelled yourself out to the point that, you know what I mean? You almost had to push yourself up to the 312 to realize Kirk did the same thing.
Yeah, right.
He got very big, but he was relatively inefficient. Then when he dropped his body weight back, I don't know, he had all that, he got the muscle size back, but this time without the fat.
Yeah.
And that's when he became a monster.
And you get a little older, you get a little smarter, that kind of stuff too.
He was still a young guy then. I mean, this was just this chance and circumstance. But getting back to the cardio thing, I think that the key is whatever cardio device you pick, you gotta break sweat and you gotta make it happen. And if you're gonna be casual about it, you're just wasting your damn time. You might as well be bowling or playing golf.
Yeah, it's all good as long as, any piece you want to use, whether it's a bike, treadmill, whatever, it's all good as long as you get on there and put in the effort. We're just basically saying what we found to be the most, effective, based on scientific research that Len Swartz and everybody else has done and all that. So we like the fan bike, but there's so many that...
Excuse me just for a second. I don't want to piss in your parade, but there was a saying that my Latin teacher once told me. He said, and it was in Latin, it was, effort is no substitute for success. Anyway, right. I'm sorry. Continue.
So
that's true.
But that being said, I mean, there's so many different brands and types of cardio. I mean, one of the things that, we've been selling.
Have you guys done the spin bikes with the skinny little seats?
No, what's your opinion?
Well, my testicles go numb. And then I listened to Charles Poliquin one day, and he says, you know why there's so much testicular cancer in high-level bike riders? Because that seat pushes on your scrotum, whatever, and cuts off the blood supply, or right between your scrotum and everything else.
Yeah, okay.
Your tank. Cuts off the blood supply.
Yeah, Ed Cohn calls it the tank.
God,
yeah.
Oh my goodness.
God.
You can't take Jim anywhere.
Why are you bringing this up again? I'm sorry, I missed the whole point. What?
This is all allegedly, by the way.
If the guys are listening to this,
don't sit while doing cardio.
And they have testicles, they want to not do the spin bike.
If you sit while doing cardio, you're going to get testicular cancer?
Unless it's a recumbent, or and the one that JP sells. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'll tell you. Let me tell you what's hot in cardio right now. We've been doing these spin bikes, fan bikes, for years. Now they're actually used. The assault bike that Marty has is actually.
No, I don't have it. I've got the old.
Well, you had it. That's what you guys did the studies on.
Chris Hardy. I didn't have it. Chris has got it.
Chris has it. Okay.
Well, I just wrote about it as if I had it.
They came out with it, and we've been selling that one for a long time. It's a good bike. It's actually used in the CrossFit Games now, but there's a lot of different versions.
Tell them to send me one. I help break them.
Oh, man.
All right, I'll get right on that. But there's a lot of different versions of the fan bike now. There's light commercial, there's full commercial, and you'll see them. They have, a 300.
Are these brands?
The fan bike? Well, the fan bike, there's a bunch
when you say
brands.
light commercial, is that a brand of fan bike?
No, it's a quality grade of the fan bike.
Like
so what I'm saying,
like heavy grade or light grade.
Yeah, there's heavy grade
in terms
light
of
grade.
Construction.
Exactly, and they have different weight capacities. And I can tell you, the one you want to look, if you really want one that feels like a tank and feels like a commercial,
you should be made to pay extra.
If you really want one that is solid,
when you're done with that, take like 5 minutes to talk about what books we're reading and stuff.
I don't know what you're talking about, man.
Go ahead. No, books. See, Marty and I read really cool books, and you may too. I haven't talked to you about literature.
Well, listen, I can tell you about the fan bike now because I just got one.
Go ahead.
You love the fan bike.
If you're looking for a real sturdy bike, try to get a commercial grade with like 3 to 350 pound capacity. The one I've got now is 350 pound capacity. Like I said, it's by Spirit Fitness. We've got it on our website if you want. Yeah, it's like a tank, man. No, I love it. I get on there and pound on it.
Spirit Fitness.
Yeah, they're good partners of ours.
Can you do forward and reverse?
You can do it all. It's the same as the
well, I'm just
assault.
saying that's the key question to ask. If you can't do reverse,
you can do reverse.
You're losing 50% of your possibilities.
You can do all
when you're
the
looking at those. I'm just saying that's something to look at.
Well, I think they all do that, but I think the main difference is the construction and the whether it's light commercial or residential or commercial. I'm just saying, what I'm trying to tell you guys is, if you really want a machine that feels good under you, try to get the commercial quality. Now, these things are ranging from $800 to anywhere to $1,100 or $1,200, depending on the brand you get. But I'll tell you, quality really, you get what you pay for here. With the commercial brands, you get such a solid feeling machine. You won't regret it, and it'll last forever.
Yeah, it's like a locomotive.
It's just like anything else. You pay a little bit more a lot of times for a commercial grade, but it's going to last you forever.
See, the thing I like about it, it's mechanical.
But
it's not like these high-tech devices with the TVs and stuff built in them that if they break down, you got to call in a dude.
No, and this is a time-tested.
Mechanical.
The Airdyne came out in '79. This is basically the same design, but more heavy duty.
Yeah, upgraded and improved and finer tuning and mechanics.
And the thing about a fan bike is you want to have the option to just beat the hell out of it, right? When you're going
if it'll
all
take
out.
it.
Yeah. Now, what I'm going to try, I was just reading an article, just real quick, on, I don't even know that this was a fan bike. They were just talking about a bike in general compared to treadmill training. So they said the study I was reading was about 10-minute HIIT training. And what they basically have you do is you start for 2 minutes, medium speed, and then you just go all out 20 seconds. And then you can pull back for 2 minutes and spike it up for 20 seconds again. You do that for 10 minutes. From what this article said, that was equivalent to 50 minutes of, medium intensity treadmill.
What was the total duration?
It was 10 minutes of HIIT training on the bike,
You're talking about Tabata, right? You're talking about Tabata?
Yeah, kind of, sort of, right. A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think
burst, recover, burst again, recover, burst, recover.
I think if you're doing that for general fat loss good, I think if you're on a calorie depleted diet and you try to tell somebody on 900 calories that they're going to do a workout in addition to 6 weight workouts, they're like, no, all right.
No. You're right. Now
And again, I think there should be an ebb and flow. I think that should be different strategies in our quiver, right?
No question.
We rotate them, right? Yeah, we're masters of that, but we can go from the interval to the steady state. That's easy for us.
Back off and push and back off.
Just like weightlifting, you gotta switch it around a little bit from time to time.
Yeah, depending on where you're at, what the goal is, what you feel like, all of it.
Right.
Yeah.
What there was so much good stuff in your article.
Which one?
The one, Cardio Revolution, melding an old protocol with a new tool.
I'll have to read it again and remember it.
I mean, we can't go into all of it, but I mean, one of the things you were talking about is how intense cardio training affects our muscular mitochondria.
Oh, that's incredible.
And all that. Do you want to say anything about that, or is that too in depth?
Very Tolstoy-like. What do you think, Jim?
Yes, Tolstoy.
We love the mitochondria. No, but seriously.
Yes, we do.
But seriously, Len's thing was that and also Ori Hofmeckler, Ori had very strong opinions on this shit too, is that if you subject the limb to this prolonged, you're in an endurance duration, but you've got a weight element involved, a resistance element involved, that it builds additional mitochondria in the working muscle. And there's some good science that would say, yeah, that's probably true. But it's you're not going to develop mitochondria in your upper body if you're just doing leg-only cardio.
But what does mitochondria mean to the average Joe? I mean, how do you feel that?
More cellular blast furnace within each of the muscle, which makes it more efficient, makes you more efficient, makes you more athletic, makes you more able to process food. Right? It's a good thing, if it's true.
Yeah. Well, we assume it is, right?
Well, I don't assume anything.
Okay.
Really don't. I like it. It's a nice theory, but I don't have any proof for it. But I just know that smart people have told me that. Two different people have told me that independent of one another.
Mm-hmm.
So, but again, I like it. Let's do cardio that involves the legs and the arms. Why not? If you had the machine, you'd use it, right, Jim?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of this is all just
you can make your
sense.
kids use it as punishment.
Yeah, they like that kind of stuff. I gotta find set them on fire.
Hey,
you gotta find something.
You just hit on something, because I put one of my daughters on that thing, and she was gassed out. It was punishment.
Yeah.
Apparently, it's punishment to you too.
Yeah.
It is. I'm trying to.
Marshall Zukov.
Why are you 290? Like, what are you trying? Are you training for a competition?
Well, my ultimate goal is 312.
What?
Yeah, what do you want? But I was training for some records and stuff. Are you training? No, seriously, are you training for something?
I'm not training for anything. It's just, I love the sport. I love lifting. I love going heavy.
That's down a little bit, right?
Well, this is not the heaviest I've ever been, but I mean,
Can
you train for something if you have to?
He's injured.
No, you know what? Look, I'm 47. I'm 47.
Yeah, okay, throw that out. Marty squatted 800 and he was like 90. Go ahead.
Hey, take it easy. I'm right here. I'm not invisible.
50-something.
If you want to see...
It came out shitty.
You talk like I'm not even here.
No, it was a compliment. It just came out wrong. Go ahead.
Listen, Marty was around before social media and all this stuff, so there's not much stuff out there on him. But if you really want to see, and I'm serious now, if you really want to see a good video of him that's current, it's only a couple years old.
I'm saying,
no, I don't want to see any Marty videos.
Want to train for something?
Do I want to train for something?
What are you going to try to put him on some sort of dog food?
I'm not.
No, I'm just saying, if you're 290, then let's train for something. If not, get down to 250.
Well, and that's the idea behind this fan bike that I just got. I've got to get my muscles are in shape. I've got to get my cardiovascular system in shape.
Well, that'll be easy. This will come easy. Just add a minute a week. Even if you add a minute a week in 10 weeks, I mean, you're doing good.
I've always hated cardio. I've never done it. I get in the gym different. 3 days. I feel like I'm starting something all over. I feel like I'm starting like weightlifting all over again.
Set some wattage records.
Yeah.
In each of the movements. Both legs, both arms and legs forward, seated. What is your wattage record?
Right.
Note it. Okay. Oh, standing. What is it? Oh, it's going to be better standing. I promise you. What is the most you can generate? It's going to be a sprint thing. All right. Now sit back down. Oh man, I'm tired.
Yeah.
Now, go backwards. Okay. Now we're going to go. And you know what? It's weird, but even though you're tired going forward, you've got some gas going backwards.
Yeah. No, I'm doing it. I'm fired up about this thing because it really feels like I'm doing something. You know, it's like back when I was doing jiu-jitsu. I was getting great cardio, but I was into it because I was learning something really cool that I wanted to learn, and at the same time
sweating your ass off at the same time.
Yeah. So you know, I just can't get on a treadmill for a half hour or whatever. I just can't.
Kill me. It's boring.
All right.
It's horrible.
Listen, that's enough. We're at like
I can't
40.
take it anymore.
5 minutes for books. 5 minutes.
Well, what do you want to say about books?
Well, I mean, Marty, what are you reading right now?
I've got 3 books going. Thunder in the East, which is about the Russian-Soviet battle that took place with Operation Barbarossa from 1941 to 1944. So I'm deep into that. Then I'm working my way through 2 of your books, right? The Nick Toshi's anthology. And in addition to that, I'm pulled out a Jean Le Carré spy novel.
Okay.
Smiley's People. It's pretty sophisticated. I'm waiting until you turn 50. When you turn 50, I think you'll be ready for it.
I'm 51. 51.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh, you seem kind of immature for 51.
I am. Oh.
Really? Huh, okay. All right, good.
Yeah.
We'll have to get together sometime.
Yeah. Well, I'm reading, because that's really why I asked you, so I could tell you what I was reading. The Wit and Wisdom of Jack London.
Oh, excellent. Well, I love Jack London.
Vignettes.
He died, how old was he when he died, like 42 or something?
Young, but you know what? He lived a life, didn't he?
Yeah, he was a young guy when he died. Yeah, very young.
Mr. Barleycorn, right, sort of did.
Oh, everything. He was great. It was one of my first great writers.
And everybody thinks of him as a kid's writer, but man, seriously, some of his writings are.
No, he influenced the hell out of Hemingway.
He sure did.
Yeah, he should have.
Zen in the Art of Writing by Ray Bradbury. Reading that.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah, so it's like his joy of just write, man. Don't listen to anybody. Somebody criticize you, they don't like this, and just write. You take it as they come anyway, but you have to, fulfill your passion. That if you have a yearning to write every day, just go ahead and do it.
Well, yeah, because you have to.
Yeah, exactly. And then I'm rereading Sun and Steel by Yukio Mishima.
Yep, Mishima. Yep.
Personal testament on art, action, and ritual death.
And that's a bunch of little tiny sayings and phrases.
It's his thoughts, yeah.
Thoughts. like little, maybe as long as a paragraph at most.
Yeah, but it's in chapter, but it's like very succinct thoughts.
Yep.
But it's also, why are you not as strong as you can be? Why do you not look as good as you can look? Why are you not as smart as you can be? I love that kind of stuff, man.
Yes, as do I.
What are you reading, JP?
Well, first of all, I'd like to comment that I think you guys have way too much time on your hands, and that you ought to be ashamed of yourselves.
Oh, baby, you're envious.
Yeah.
I'm reading the best book in the world. It's called Purposeful Primitive.
Yes, indeed.
Has anybody heard of it?
Yes.
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 Yeah.
So Duquesne was actually selling like just the chapters. Remember, he was selling just the iron profiles.
I bought pathetic.
Yeah, and then I bought the book after that. Then I bought another book after that.
Like a beggar on the street corner with a hat.
Yeah. Okay, so you're reading that. What else, JP?
Well, it's a great book, and it's got high endorsements from guys like Dorian Yates and all that. But that's it, man. I mean, I honestly, I'm not a big book reader. I work 16 hours a day or more consistently, and man, by the time I'm done with work, I don't want to look at anything, any text or anything. I'm done.
Hey, pull up. Hey, I got something for you. You do YouTube, right?
Yeah.
Something about me or JP?
Oh, JP.
Oh.
Yeah, sure.
Pull up some Anatoly Pisarenko.
Yeah, we did an article on him.
Olympic weightlifter.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Pull him up. That guy rocked.
Right now?
Some good stuff up there. Yeah, I'm just saying.
No, I have looked at him. We did an article on him.
No, you haven't. No. You need to look. Bring him back up. It'll cheer you up.
All right. Listen, that's enough on books. I mean, we're boring the hell out of everybody.
People love it. Go ahead, JP.
All right. Check out Marty's weekly column and podcast, Raw with Marty Gallagher, at ironcompany.com. He's also available for online training and seminars. You can reach him by going to our athletes page at Iron Company. Also pick up his book that I just mentioned, Purposeful Primitive. It's a great read. Check out Iron Company for all your fitness equipment and flooring needs, and fan bikes or any other kind of cardio that you might need. And finally, we've got Jim Steele. He's one of our writing contributors now. We've got a couple of his articles. You can check those out. Just hit the articles link at the top of the website, and it'll take you. Yeah, you were saying it's hard to find your articles. But
no, I said
just click the articles link at the very top of our site. You'll find it.
Homepage, baby.
All right, boys.
All right.
I gotta roll.
All right, guys. Good one. Thank you.
Talk to you later.
Bye.